Hello everyone. In our last video, we had discussed about decorators and also implemented it. In this video, we learn how a single function can be decorated by more than one decorator. It is also known as chain of decorators. Before we start discussing about multiple decorators or chain of decorators, let's see how more than one function can be decorated by a single decorator. In our last video, we implemented one function and one decorator. In this video, we are going to implement more than one function and a single decorator, and we will decorate all the functions by a single decorator. And to understand this very clearly, let's take a real-time example. Let's say we want to create an application. We want to provide the functionalities to the user to add comment, delete comment, and like comment. But to do this, user has to log in first, which means what? There is only one condition over here, that if user wants to use any of these functionalities, user has to log in. This is the application A. Now, let me design my functions add comment, delete comment, like comment. As of now, I'm not going to write the body part, so I have written pass. And now, as the application says, there is only one condition, that if user wants to use any of these functionalities, user has to log in first, which means I'm going to check that login by the decorator, which I'm going to define now. The name of the decorator is check_login. Function as an argument, wrapper, calling of function, and wrapper return. Now what I need to do is I need to decorate this add comment function by check_login decorator, which means what? When user will call add comment function, it first jump to the line number 3, which means decorator, wrapper, and line number 3 will be called. But the condition says that before executing this function, we need to check the login part of user, which means if user is logged in or not. If user is logged in, continue to execute the function. But if not, user will be redirected to the login page. So basically we need to write code to check the login. You can use the session method, you can use the cookie method to just check whether user is logged in or not. But here I'm not going to write the exact code. So what happens exactly is when user will call the add comment method, this code will be executed first. And if user is logged in, it continues to execute the function. Else, user will be redirected to the login page. Now I want to apply the same functionality in every function. So I'm going to decorate all the functions by check_login decorator, which means what? I have decorated more than one functions by a single decorator. This was the case. There are many examples of that multiple functions can be decorated by a single decorator. Let's consider a case where you have to find the solution of a specific task, and you have the number of solutions available to solve that specific task. Now you want to find the best one out of it, and the best one out of it, which means which takes minimum time to execute. So what you are going to do is you are going to write your solutions, which means you are going to write your functions, and you are going to decorate. Now when you are going to decorate your functions with the decorator, you need to write some extra code over here, which means what? You are going to save the time before calling the function, which means it would be starting time. After calling the function, you will again save the time, which will be end time. And then you will find the difference between end time and start time. And you are going to decorate every function with the decorator, which means what? When you are going to execute every function, you will have the time taken by that function, and you can find the best one out of it. There are many more examples of it. You can try it. This is the simple case that how multiple function can be decorated using a single decorator. Now we'll jump to this section which is multiple decorators. To understand multiple decorator, the only important thing is the sequence of execution. Otherwise, the concept of decorator does not change. And to understand it very clearly, let's consider one program, one aim, which says that you will have one function. That function will return some string. And exact aim says that you need to convert that message, that string, into lowercase, the first part. And after that, you need to split that particular string. So eventually, after the second part, you will have the list of words, which means what? Let me write over here. Simple function. It will return string. Let's say the string is I like Python. The first part of your aim says that you need to convert this message into lowercase. So I'm going to write that first task by using a decorator. Let's say the name of the decorator is lowercase. Function wrapper, calling of function. This function returns a message, need to store in X, and then it will be converted into lowercase by using a method lower, and it returns X and return wrapper. So the first part of the aim, which is to convert the message into lowercase. The second one is split the string. So another decorator, wrapper function, X is equal to function call, and need to split. Let me write another variable over here, for example L, and return L. So this split basically returns L, which means our list of words, and here return wrapper. So I have created two decorators, lowercase and split. As per the aim, we need to convert the message into lowercase, and then we need to split the string. So I'm going to decorate the function by lowercase and by split. So let me run this first. Oops, we did not get the output. Yes, just because we did not call this simple function. Let's see the output. I like Python. We have a list of words, and you can see the string. It has been converted into lowercase, which means what? The first lowercase will be called and then split. If you think that the split decorator has been executed first and then the lowercase, which means what? Let's understand that case as well. That first split decorator has been executed, which means what? This I like Python message will be passed to the function. It will be stored inside X, then X dot split, which means what? The result of this L will be this. Like three elements, I like Python, and then the lowercase decorator, which means what? This message, this element L will be passed to this X, which means list dot lower, and if the split function, the split decorator has been executed first, it will definitely generate an error, just because list does not have the method lower. So it has been decided that yes, the execution of this program is first this lowercase decorator and then the split decorator. So let me rerun the program. We get this output, I like Python. Let's change the sequence to get the error. Lowercase. So now first split decorator will be called and then lowercase. Let me run this. Now we have the error that list object has no attribute lower, because first it will create the list when you split the string, and after that it will be forwarded to this function. So when it eventually calls that this list dot lower method, it simply generates an error that list object has no attribute lower. So it has been decided that first the lowercase decorator has been executed, then split. But if I say that I want to add one print statement over here inside split and here inside lowercase. So now as we have finalized that lowercase decorator has been executed first, so the expected output would be what? Inside lowercase, inside split, and the final output I like Python in small case. So let's run the program. The output is inside split, inside lowercase, I like Python. Now as we have finalized that lowercase decorator has been executed first, if so, this message is wrong. The sequence of the message is wrong. So now there is some confusion and I need your concentration over here, that how this decorator and what is the sequence of the decorator, how the decorator executes and what is the sequence of this decorator. So without wasting time, let me debug it. Let me reduce the font size. So okay. Now see, when I call the simple function, first it jumps to split, not in lowercase. Though we have decided the lowercase decorator has been executed first, according to this debugger, it actually first jumped to line number 3, which means in split decorator. After that, line number 4, which is function call. After that, ideally it should jump on line number 20, which is I like Python, because it calls function. But it jumps to line number 11. Yes, here when you call one decorator, it finds that there is another decorator, which means what? From that calling function, it actually calls the another decorator. So it jumps to line number 11 and then line number 12, x is equal to function. Now there is no decorator, which means there is split decorator and lowercase decorator. When you call this x is equal to function line number 12, it calls the actual function, which is simple, and line number 20 will be executed, which is I like Python. And now it returns something, so it will be forwarded to the calling function, which means line number 12. So line number 12, I like Python, this string will be stored in x, then it will be converted into lowercase, and then it returns that lowercase string. So it will be forwarded to again the calling function, which means line number 4. So now that x has the value I like Python in lowercase, then line number 5 will be executed, which is x dot split. So it will split the string, and now we have a list of words I like Python, and it returns that particular list. And finally on line number 22, this is how it executes. You need to understand that when you apply the multiple decorator, the chain of decorator, the execution starts from top to bottom. But when you find that there are multiple decorators, so at that time, this case you need to consider. In this figure, simple function will be executed, then it finds that there are two decorators, so split and lowercase. So first it goes to split, then it goes to lowercase, then lowercase go to simple, and the simple function has been executed and it returns something, it returns to the calling function which is lowercase, then it executes its statement and it returns something. It returns to again to the calling function which means split. Split function or split decorator will execute its statement and return something, and finally it will be printed according to our A, which is on line number 22. So whatever the value will be written by split, finally it will be printed. So this is how it executes. This is how multiple decorators execute. I hope you get it. If you have any query or any question, you can write in the comment. Thank you.